Hello, my people. Good evening. Good evening to everyone. Welcome to Mike at Night. Sorry about the late start. Sorry about all of the, it is. Let me first of all apologize for last week when we did not have our broadcast. I had another engagement and it was a public holiday here in this country. So because of that, but I should have given notice that we would not have been broadcasting at all. But I hope you forgive me. But we're going to now have the usual Mike at Night. I want you to share the live, go to your page, share it with somebody, let them be on it, because we are going to talk about 7 stages of a relationship. Your relationship is going to go through stages and phases. Let's talk about that. All right. So tell everybody that we are on. I know that we went a bit late. It was in a village council meeting, it has been. And then earlier before that, we had a workshop. So I've been inside of that all evening, and then went to the village council meeting and rushed across here. So we were running a bit late. That is it. How everybody going? Let's give everybody a chance to come on board. Yes, sir. We're supposed to be heading into the rainy season. I hope you're all ready. You have bought your batteries, you have your torchlight, you have extra food in your house. You put things in place for the rainy season. Don't let it catch you napping. Okay. All right, we just wait on the live to pick up, and then we're going to get going. 7 stages of our relationship, because I don't want to start again. Once we get started, I don't want to have to start twice. Okay, so if you are there, I want you to let me know that you're on. Let me say hello to Joy. Let me say hello to Cassie. Zanifa, hello. That's Trinidad. Candace, Alexander, Diane Robinson, my sister. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful having you all. I'm sure you all thought I wasn't coming on tonight, eh? Yeah, but I am. So don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be all right. Okay, 7. We already started late, so let me not keep you all back. We are talking about 7 stages of a relationship. I want you to understand this, my people, my dearest people, that relationships go through phases. Sometimes we get too busy with the phases that as soon as we hit some rough spot in a relationship, we are gone. We are not giving it a chance to show itself. Not just because you become unhappy, but you see, we live in a fast food, fast era. You want everything now for now. You are not going to enter into a relationship and things going to be running so crystal smooth. Rough times is part of that. But a lot of people don't have the patience to stick it out during the rough times. And so an otherwise good relationship that you could have stayed in and succeed, we choose to start all over again from beginning with somebody else. And that next relationship is going to go through the 7 stages anyway. And you have to do the whole cycle again. But no, you did it 5 times. You recognize that it's the same issues. You come out again. Something you're telling you that probably something you're doing wrong. Now, there are some relationships that really would fail. I agree with that. There are some relationships, man. It's just pure people who have no patience, who just want things and want steady, good life. They don't want to have no rough times in a relationship. As far as they're concerned, it's for better, not poor. Rich, not for better, not worse. Rich, not poor. Health, not sickness. That is how people look at it, instead of looking at it from the standpoint of every situation, every relationship, every friendship, every stage of life, there's going to be the ebb and flow. There's going to be the rupture and the repair. That's a cycle. You cannot miss that cycle. No child is born and just continues going without any hindrances in health, hindrances in their walk. There is going to be some time that things would not go as good as it's supposed to be. You don't just throw away the baby, give away the baby, send up the baby for adoption. No, you're patient with the baby because this is part of the course of life. The Bible says no season lasts forever. And believe that. There is no season at all that will ever last forever. Good and nice season don't ever last forever. Bad season is going to come. But no bad season lasts forever. Good season is going to come. So get accustomed, my dear people. Relationships will go through its own vicissitudes. Right. So brace yourself for it. Tell them I say so. So let's talk now. So I'm reading an article where they spoke about the 7 stages of relationship. And I want to bring to you those 7 stages. Stage number 1. Stage number 1 says that in a relationship, you will have passion. This is the stage that most people want. They only want passion. The good part of the relation, the early stages of the relationship, the TV, the romance book phase of relationship. But I want you to know that late phase doesn't last forever. In fact, the writer of the article says that your passion phase lasts an average of 1 year. 1 year. And then you go in and out of passion because you can't run the whole relationship on passion. So what happens is that when it begins to wane and passion begins to dissipate, people think, well, I'm falling out of love with the person. I love the person, but I'm not in love with the person, so I'm gone. Because the passion is beginning to wear off. Let me tell you, if passion alone is supposed to exist where we want to be in each other's face and each other's company for so long, every time, every minute of the day, you know what would happen with your job? You know what would happen with every other aspect of your life that you have to deal with? No, so passion is supposed to go. But some people, they live in a relationship between 1 year to 1.5 years. You check it. Doubt me if you think. Doubt me if that is not so. 1 to 1.5 years. Hud said that some people seek dealing with a fairy tale. Yep, that's right. It's the fairy tale business that they're looking for. All right, Lyndon, you're reach. Rock and come in, people. Rock and come in. Sheila Thomas. I know what Sheila Thomas talking about, girl, stop it. I know she on the right chat. I figure she on the wrong chat. Because I ain't seen nothing nobody talk about. Yeah. Okay. So, Sheila, you're late. But rock and come in. Passion. 1 year. So people who get into relationship 3 months and move in with one another, are you surprised that they walk out of the relationship after that? Do you really know the person? Can you really live with that person? The faster you are in this love highway, the faster you drive on the love highway, it is also the greater hurt you get when you're coming back out. Because you're slamming into the relationship too hard. This thing cannot be a fast overnight thing. You understand me? I met a lady. She was coming out of the relationship, frustrated. I said, how long have you all been in this relationship? Well, we are in it for about 4 months. 4 months. How long did you know the guy before you were in the relationship with him? Listen to me, my people. To show we get carried away with passion. She went to a function. She met a young man that night. He called her the next day. And by the night he was living with her, moved in with her. And she's wondering, how come this ain't work out after 3 months? You knew the person? Man, listen, some people I don't know what they use for brains and whether they're sitting on it. Because that makes no sense. No, some people will say, but I know somebody who it works. Generally does not work. So just because it works with 1 or 2 people does not mean that it is a viable way to run a relationship. I know people who drink gramoxone, poison, and they live. I'm not going to recommend it just because somebody live. Boy, I know somebody who drink gramoxone, who drink poison and live. So therefore, not everybody does die from it. Well, would you recommend it? No. This one I'm not going to recommend either. Good evening, Davika. Nice having you. Laura Benjamin. He was a hobosexual. What is a hobosexual? Is it a misspelling or is this a new word that I'm learning now from Laura? Yeah, Oliver can come in, man. Oliver can come in. All who late and so on. Come in, come in. I ain't taking it easy tonight. So this 1 year to allow the passion to subside. So technically, if you're getting into a relationship now, I have performed marriages less than a year already, but I don't do it generally. I think that there are things that you look for to know that this marriage is sustainable. But generally, I don't really recommend it. So 1 year. So how long should somebody be courting for when you hear people break up in 6 months? Laura say, oh, you're looking for some place to live. Ah, Laura, okay. I wouldn't doubt Laura on that, you know. It might be that the person looking for a place to live and this lady was just naive enough to open up her place to it. But here's what. Some of these same women, as this woman, has a young daughter in the house. Somebody you don't even know. You know how much problems that go on when a strange man comes into a house and you have your children and your girl children. But that's our next story. We must do that next time and let you all know some of the madness that's going on. Stage number 2. Stage number 2. So you pass through the passion phase, you last there about a year and so on. And that passion phase could come and go as you're going along. So don't think that that is anything. Josiane, anyway, Josiane, today is what, Thursday? Josiane at church on Thursday? I can't remember. Anyway, Josiane, what can come in? What can come in? Better late than never. And you have mouth. Yeah? Being cheeky too. Second phase. Phase number 2. This phase is what we call the discovery and realization phase. As it says, it's when people come to the realization. It's when they reach to a point in their life that they tell themselves, It's when you have settled down now and reality start to hit you. It is at this phase. When you have settled down and reality start. Sorry. It is at this phase that you start to fall out with the person. You've seen the faults and so on. This just after a year and a half or thereabout. You've seen the faults and so on. That's why people just walk out at this stage. Because them didn't expect phase 2. They only thought phase 1 alone was supposed to last them through life. Yes? So we'll always be in love and so on. And because the passion is gone, people think the love has also gone. A fallacy. Desperation for love made validation causes women to be reckless in their dating choices. I gotta take that too. I gotta take that. All right. So this situation here now is where the realization just hit you. And you ask yourself, boy, I wonder if I make a right choice. No, everybody will go through that phase. They'll ask themselves whether they made a mistake. But it may not be a mistake. It is part of the process that you're going to go through. Realization comes inside of this phase here, where you begin to see and acknowledge the person's fault. In psychology, we call it pre-digested thinking. Pre-digested thinking is where you digest the person in a certain way that you filter out any other way that people want you to see them. So, for example, you might pre-digest the person that this person is a good person, the person is a nice fella, nice guy, or nice girl, and so on. And somebody will be telling you, listen, be careful about that girl, be careful about that man. And they'll be warning you, I see some things. And you say, nah, people that always talk things, and then you go and ask the person, so you was with so and so? No, me with somebody? No, I never went with that person. See, this is what I tell you, because my friend come and tell me that you was with somebody. All right? So now you believe the person because you want to believe the person. You don't want to hear anything otherwise. So you're back in the corner of the person. You pre-digested them to be fair, celibate, and all of that. So you accept that. Next thing you know, you marry the person and you're in the relationship and you're seeing no end of Hades. And because you're going through all of that with the person, but somebody else now who knows your spouse says, hey, your husband is such a nice fella. That man is so helpful and sweet. You don't know my man. You don't know. He just pretending that because he's nothing like that home. Or somebody says about your wife, well, that wife is such a nice, gentle woman, such a lady. Boy, if you should see how she does talk to me, you should see the kind of disrespect. All the time you're pre-digesting them as good. Now you're pre-digesting them as bad. When they were good, you wasn't hearing nothing bad. And now that you consider them bad, you're not hearing anything good about them. Yes. That's what we get into, because the realization phase hit you. As they say, red flag. Red flag. Let me see what all they're saying there. Wendy and Norton, why you not walking in, girl? All right. Rock and coming. Hey, let's share the live now. Share the live to people who coming on. Couples are to grow in love, says Chef, rather than falling in love. Yes. Take time to know each other before deciding to live together. Love is a process. It surely is. It surely is. You telling me? So let's not rush into this thing. Fools rush in. And fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Sheila say, run down the road, gossip. The old people say, what you can see in the day, don't wait for night to flash. Bully fate. Well, she say flambeau. All right. Yes? Only take me word, Take me word. That is why, let me tell you, some of you need to come to my office for counseling. You see? Anytime you're on and you say, listen, I need counseling. My number is 868. And we do counseling United Kingdom, United States, various Caribbean islands. You don't have to be right in front of somebody as it is. Right? That could be done any part of the world. 868 480 0080. Let me say it again. 868. That's the code. 480 0080. Call me now. All right. Zanifa said, love must grow over the years. Every true love grows over time. No tree moves from seed to tree. It must go through phases. Your relationship, if it's going to bloom and blossom, it must go through phases, I tell you. Hey, sir. All right, which one we on now? You're trying to make good headway because I know some of all was waiting all the time. All right, next one. There is two. The first one is passion, phase number one or stage number one. Second stage, discovery and realization stage. Now you find out how them is. But then stage number three, and then you ask the question, how long should you be in this phase? Well, I think we should wait out that phase long enough. Let's say you work out a little, it's hard to say how long it's supposed to go, because I'll tell you why. It depends on how often you are in the presence of the person. There are people don't see each other till weekends because they're far apart they live. There are some people don't live in the same island or the same country. There are some people who see each other every day. So their relationship can run faster than somebody else's. I give an average of 3 to 4 years of getting to know somebody before you commit yourself into a marriage or a serious relationship. Get to know them over 3 to 4. So instead of going in and then come out back and say, oh gosh, that was going on inside the day, stay outside and watch it from outside. You understand? If you don't have the fear to get in the fit, stay outside and listen to music. You might find out that the DJ ain't good anyway. So you save your money and you go home. Tell them, I say so. All right? So that's the discovery realization phase. All with me? All right. Phase number three. Phase number three is the commitment in the relationship. This is the commitment stage that you're starting to now talk about planning to get married. Now, this is after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, You're planning to get married. The thing about these phases, some people stay too short in the phase, and some people stay too long in the phase. Between 2 to 3 years, if a man does not know whether he loves you enough to start planning marriage, he ain't planning to marry you. I figure he is serious. He planning to take as much as possible while he can. Because he can't be making up his mind still after 3 to 4 years if you all have been in a good relationship for 3 to 4 years. He does not know if you want to do that. If I lend you my car and say, listen, I plan to buy this car, let me just run it all the time. Let me see how the car running. And I lend you my car to see if you will buy it. And you just running it. 3 years, you don't know if you still want to buy it. And any man could make up his mind earlier than that whether he would want to buy this thing or not. 17, 18 years later, you still making up your mind you're not married. And I've met people 30 years. 30 years. I have performed marriage with people who have been together for over 30, 40 years. And why didn't you get married? Well, I did not know whether this is what I wanted to settle down with. Laura said, but they've done that, been there, done that, have no interest in marriage or any type of relationship that involves cohabitation. Yeah? No. What I can't understand about living together, you're cooking for the person. Yeah, ma'am, you're cooking for him. You're washing his clothes. Yes, miss? And the gentleman, and you're paying bills? And you're cleaning yard? Yeah. And you're leaving, going out to your various work, doing everything, and then come back? Yeah. And they're having sex together? Yes. But the person ain't know whether they want to marry. Life. What head says, I'm saying both men and women, they have pretty faces and questionable characters. Looks also fades with time. That's right. But all right, let me talk about that fade. If a man lends me his car for 5 years for me to decide if I want to buy. And I drive that car for 5 years. Now that I'm making up my mind that I want a car, you think I want to buy that old car that I use and drive up and down the place? Now that I want to settle down with a car? You had it before. I had it now for 5 years. I want a new car. So a lot of times, you see people, they shack up, they're going with this person, they're in a relationship, they're having sex and so on. And then suddenly, they leave that relationship and soon after they marry somebody else. They want a new vehicle. This one have been driven already by the same person who just went and get a new vehicle. Cat does run away, dog does run away, Josan. Woman, who is you? You can run away too. Josan's a waste of youth staying in a relationship for them years with somebody who cannot make up their mind. Commitment phase ain't come in there yet. So that's phase number 3. And every relationship goes through these phases. May not even be in that order, but it goes through the phases. And may not be for that same time span, but you will go through those phases. All right, phase number 4 or stage number 4. Power struggles in relationship, the person said. We go through power struggle. As far as who could tell who what. Because you might find that a relationship starts, one person come into the relationship and they're very docile or very calm and compliant, agreeable, and so on. But after a while, they have a voice. They start to talk up. They start to have an opinion, and they start to exert that opinion, and they start to challenge your decision, etc. Yeah. Now we have a power struggle. Now we have, instead of you telling me everything what I want to do, I am now going to decide whether we do it or not. Hey, somebody has grown up, somebody has become big, and that power struggle comes in there. But that does not mean the relationship is gone and it's a wreck. It's just one of those phases. Just like a child growing up in your house. Your child, everything you tell the child to do, the child will do. But the child gets to a certain stage in its growth that when you tell the child begins to ask a question. Why? No, don't want to do that. Yeah, because they start to exert a certain position. And nothing is wrong with that because that's part of change. Those are the stages that are going through. Those have to be managed. Whether relationship is on a trial basis. That is that, we must talk about this. Yes, Chef, we must talk about that. Good evening, Samantha James. Rock and come in, Samantha. Next time, don't walk in my class this hour, Miss Samantha. Yeah. So, by the way, Josan, Samantha, I wonder if Samantha is the lady I met at your school. What's the name of the lady I met at your school? Yeah, Josiane. And that's in Lucia. I met a nice lady in St. Lucia. Hey, that's Samantha there? Yes, this nice lady I met in St. Lucia. Hey, nice. Good to see you. I keep looking for you, but you see, Sadi, the name is slipped me. And Sheila too. She learned from you, Josan. She learned slackness from you. But anyway, all of you can come in, take a seat. So the power struggles in relationship is part of what happens in every relationship. It has to be managed so that it does not go into disrespect and insults, etc. But during this power struggle, we need to be able to understand there's boundaries. Because that power struggle is who you should talk to, how you should dress, where you should go, what friends you should have. We struggle about all these kind of things. Who should I come to who? If you're going to leave, I want to know. The woman all of a sudden says, I want to know. You can't just walk out of the house, because before she was taking that. But now she's setting down boundaries. And nothing is wrong with the boundaries. Because if you ask me if a man is going out, his wife should know. Because if something happened down the road, she had to come and see about you. And then you don't want that something happened to you down the road and she thinks you in the backyard. That time you got bounced down on the road and somebody say, hey, your husband get bounced down the road. And you say, nah, here in the backyard. Those are things that we have to talk about also. We have so much thing to talk about, but not tonight. Where it is that, there are things that I think your spouse or spouses should know that sometimes we feel they should not know because we think that is them wanting power over us. It is called courtesy. It's called etiquette. It's called good manners. That is what it's called. But anyway, boundaries. Anella Humphrey, good evening to you. Blessings to you. Kenneth said there should be mutual submission in a relationship. All right, I could take that, Kenneth. The ease with which women are compared to objects such as cars is rather telling. All right, Laura. Men are compared by dogs, and it's not men who compare men as dogs. I'll tell you that. Anyway, I digress. Stage 5. Growth and stability. So we come out of the power struggle phase, we go into growth and stability phase. If you survive those 4, if you survive the 4, the passion phase, realization phase, discovery phase, and now know the person better, commitment phase, that we can now start planning lives and marriage, etc. And we survive this power struggle phase. Then growth and stability start to settle down. But this is when years come now. This is when years come. You need years under your belt to get growth and stability. You talk to those people who have been married 40, 50, 60 years, and you will hear them say that the best years are in those years as they come down because growth and stability step in. And you will hear them say, I am glad I never walked out during the rough years. But we don't have people who could swim the tides long enough and strong enough to exist at that stage in deep waters when it is. Because you've got to come out from shallow waters to deep waters as you cross the channel and you're getting on the next side when shallow waters hit you again. But during those deep waters, when the waves hit you in the relationship, people swim back to shore instead of going forward and pressing on. So this phase is where you talk about your life goals. At this stage, you talk about what you want to achieve in life and aspire and what you see happening in life for yourself and your spouse or your partner, etc. I'm telling you. So, therefore, growth and stability. Growth and stability. Lord, don't let me go down that road. You say dogs are living creatures. That's no excuse. It's like just as you say, so if you call a man or a snake, is that complimentary? If you call a woman a snake, is it complimentary? It has nothing to do whether it is living or dead. It has to do with the connotation of the word that it carries, my dear lady. All right, my dear Laura. All right. But we're still friends. Romantic love enrichment is stage number 6. Romantic love enrichment. Hey, it's so fast we're running through this thing, you know. This romantic love and enrichment is different from passion. Passion happens to be that level when where we desire each other. Romantic love is the way we treat each other. I hope you understand the difference. Passion is this yearning to be with, this desire for your body, this needing to be around you. Romantic love doesn't have that. Romantic love is this appreciation, this endearment of you. And enrichment talks about the level that we have taken it to, that is much higher, it's more substantive, it is more enlightening and endearing and cementing than any other relationship. Romantic because it is the way I want to treat you and make you happy. Not for what I could get from you, but what it brings to me doing it for you. That's different. That is different. So when you have that romantic love, but that's phase 6. You have to wait for that to come in. But people usually think that the early stage 1 is it. But the early stage 1 is not it. You see. So we should always think of that stage and what is the right word we should use to talk with this person that makes them understand that the love is there, that we appreciate them. It is at this stage of the relationship that everything you do, you take into consideration, is your spouse happy? Right? But this takes years for you to get to that. Where you cherish the person, you respect the person, you fall out with the person, but you don't ever hurt the person in falling out with them. You don't have to call them names, you don't have to curse them, you don't have to treat them bad, you don't have to spill their secrets and so on, just to hurt them because they hurt you and so on. No, this is not that phase. These are more mature phase that very few people climax to. Very few people can be able to sit on the plateau of romantic love and enrichment, because by now, by the time they hit phase 6, stage 6, they have already jettisoned the relationship. They have gone. They're done with that. Yeah. So that is completely a rare. Phase 6 is rare. And I wonder how many people out there listening can say, I have covered all 6 stages already. I'm sure that there are some people out there could say that they have covered it. And there are some people who think that they have covered it, but they may cover it yet, but they think so. And then we have phase or stage 7. Stage 7 is the one of crisis and recovery. Crisis and recovery. Every relationship is going to hit a crisis. You're going to hit that point in time where, and let me tell you, crisis in this phase here can end up in any stage of this relationship. From stage 1 straight to stage 7. You're always open to crisis. So, but recovery is quite mature in stage 7. This isn't where, you know, as all two people say they're in love, and every time they fall out, they threaten to leave. They pack up, they go home, and they pack up and come back, and so on. That is the immature phase. At this stage of recovery in relationship, they fall out, but they never talk about leaving. They never threaten the person, but they fall out. The recovery also is a shorter period of time for them to stay out of relationship. They recover faster. But if you have people in the house for weeks, for months, for a lengthy period of time, they're not talking to each other, they're passing people like a full bus. They're behaving as though that they are tenants in the house. No connection for months. Immature. But when you reach phase 7, recovery is, in fact, people at this phase look forward to the recovery because the recovery is nice. Yeah. The recovery phase in this is something to behold on. So according to this author, Laurie Groh, or Groh is her name, Laurie, Groh. I don't want to misspell her name. Says that that phase is where we sometimes we struggle with some of those trauma, but we we always seem to recover and come back. And we reunite the relationship. In fact, some people would even wonder if people at this phase ever fall out. But they do. But they fall out in a sort of level that you tell yourself, it's joke they're making. You see? So, but when you watch out how some people fall out and they kind of hurt, the acrimony, the insults that they have to hurl at each other. You ask yourself, after this argument is done, they don't love each other. They don't plan to love each other again after that. Because let me tell you, after we have said some hurtful things to people, and long after we say sorry, the person remembers those painful things that we said. Oh yes, we might be back in the relationship, we might be laughing and giggling and so on, but that pain don't go so easy. Let me see who's online. As to my partner, Edward Jones there, so he's a slacker, you know. I find he started to come early, but now the disrespect, man. The disrespect. Besides God says, Chef, respect should also reign in any relationship in order for it to survive and be successful. Agree? Laura said, treating women like appliances seem to be the default setting under patriarchy. Well, you ever wonder how women treat men, Laura? Do you think that women treat men in a very palatable way? I'm not denying what you said about the men, but let's talk about whether it is also a travesty when it comes to women. Hope you do a segment on the history of romance. I'm sure your female audience would appreciate it. Jill Gilbert George said, women long time was women who fight for the relationship. Not today, women, they give up so easy. Gilbert, you really said that, boy? Boy, people will take your number and come for you, my boy. Gilbert, the statistics will show that check out who is the one who files for divorce more often or who walks out of the relationship more often. Just check it out and tell me. See if you can Google it. Whether it's a man or the woman who leaves a relationship more often. Google it and all you tell me. You post it and let me know because I need to be educated on this. Edward Jones say he a little late. My lady Joan Phillips Spear from Virginia. All right. I want to say hello to you and to Tobago Joe. I don't know if Joan is in work at the moment. If you're in work, Joan, say hello to your staff. Tell them I said hello from Tobago. Greetings from Tobago. Charming Boy says, I was there here all the time. I didn't see you. Crisis and recovery, the parting of the Red Sea. Some bolt out at this stage. That's right. At that stage, they leave it. Let me see. Samantha says it shouldn't be one-sided. Laura says 70% of divorces are filed by women. Okay. Okay, so who is the person who raised that issue, Gilbert? Gilbert, look, they give you your answer. All right. So those are the 7. We finished kind of early tonight. We covered those 7 nicely. So let me, for those who came late, because I don't have it on the screen, I'll go over them quickly. Right, Josanne says because we focus more on the crisis than the recovery. Yes, we do. We focus more on the rupture than we do on the repair. For those who came in late, you can go back after we log out on the Facebook and see the rerun. All right, stage 1 of relationship. Passion. Generally, people go through that stage of passion in the relationship, which means I'm attracted to you. I like you. I'm drawn towards you. I need you. I want you. I feel for you. Then you have discovery and realization stage. That's when I get to know you. Suddenly, I recognize you are not the sweet person I thought you were. Suddenly, I realize the issues that you have. I didn't know you had those issues. I thought you were the person who always remembered my birthday. Thought you were the person who was always kind and always considerate. And then I found out there's another side of you. But if I stay long enough, I might now be able to get to the stage of commitment in a relationship. You talk to some people about some rough time they will go through their relationship, and then they still turn around and commit to them and realize, it's a good thing I stayed. Commitment in relationship, phase 3. Stage 4, power struggles. You can't talk to me. You can't tell me what to do. I'm my own person. Bam. So you have these power struggles coming out where the autonomy, I want to make decisions myself. And that power struggle is a necessary part of coming through the whole phase, right? But in that power struggle, there are breaches of boundaries where people breach boundaries because, who should go into my cell phone? Should you even go into my cell phone? How do I feel about going to my boundary? That's a boundary. Who you should talk to? Should I talk to my ex? Should I talk to a girl who likes me? Or should I shun that person? And should you tell me that I shouldn't talk to the person? Boundaries. And then growth and stability. If you come through that phase number 4 from power struggle, you're going to growth and stability, where we both going through life and things are happening in our lives. We have common goals, common interests, common values, and so on. And we're going along there and so on. And we find that we're not quarreling as long as often. And when we do quarrel, it's not as long and it's not as hostile. So stability starting to come inside of them, man. And then stage number 6, where people get to the point of romantic love, that this is not passion now. This is I care for you and I want to see the best for you. I'm not hugging you because I feel sexy. I feel horny. I'm hugging you because I want to reassure you I'm here for you. That's the romantic love and enrichment phase that comes along here, where we both going in such powerful ways. And then stage number 7, crisis. Crisis phase comes into almost every other phase because crisis would always pop up its head somewhere. So you're going to have that crisis phase. And inside of that crisis phase, you're going to have recovery. And the beauty of it is a makeup after the breakup. All right. Nicely. If you work the relationship, God says the relationship will work for you. All right. Nice. People, I enjoyed having you. Again, my apology for last week. I don't know how many people may have logged in, but I plead your forgiveness for that. So I'm Mike at Nite, and this is once again another Thursday evening. We'll be back next week, Thursday. We are on usually on a Thursday. So look forward to being with you next week. God bless you. Bye now.